On this episode of China Uncensored, Trump punishes Chinese company ZTE, and then he says he wants to help them get back in business? Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. U.S. President Trump has been, and this may shock you, a source of controversy. But in one area, even some of his harshest critics have been supportive.
One of the few areas where the president and I agreed, and I was vocally supportive of him, was his tough approach to China. In fact, I said at one point that I'm closer to President Trump on China than I was to President Obama or President Bush, and he saw that in the newspaper and sent me a handwritten note thanking me.
Wait, Donald Trump sent Chuck Schumer a handwritten note? See? Donald Trump is literate. How dare the media slander him?
You are fake news.
Anyway, Senator Schumer had praised the Trump administration's move against the Chinese telecommunications giant ZTE. Last month, the U.S. banned ZTE from buying American technology for 7 years. It was punishment for ZTE violating the terms of a sanctions settlement with the U.S. You see, ZTE had illegally shipped equipment with American parts to North Korea and Iran 283 times. When they were caught, ZTE agreed to pay more than $1 billion in fines. They also agreed to punish the executives who were involved. But the U.S. Commerce Department says that ZTE rewarded the executives instead, which led to the new ban on ZTE buying American technology. And that's all but left China's second largest telecommunications company dead in the water. That's why it was a shock when, a few days ago, Trump tweeted he would work with Xi Jinping to get ZTE back in business, fast. Obviously, a lot of folks in the U.S. were less than happy. Some even went on to suggest Trump was maybe, possibly, bribed. And others outright said it. That accusation came from reports that a Chinese state-owned company paid $500 million to an Indonesian development firm that's building Trump-branded hotels and a golf course. That doesn't look good. But it turns out that's probably not what's going on. The Indonesia deal was signed before Trump got elected, and, according to the main company involved, they haven't actually signed the $500 million loan deal with China. So Trump is not getting a Chinese bribe for helping ZTE. Of course, maybe Trump will still get free tickets to the Indonesian resort. An immersive world of magic and adventure that features a variety of thrill rides and adventures interwoven with original stories and themes from Indonesia's rich cultural heritage. Although as president, he should get that anyway if he wants, right? Probably Trump saying he'll help ZTE has more to do with using it as a negotiating tool in trade talks with Xi Jinping. Some critics of the Chinese regime, like U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, don't think that's a good idea because of espionage concerns. But only time will tell whether it's the right move, or frankly whether Trump will actually do anything to help ZTE at all. So what do you think? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time. Time for another question from a Patreon supporter. Jake B asks, have you guys ever received a physical or financial threat over a specific video or the channel directly? We've had 2 minor death threats that Matt only told me about much later, but the main threat to China Uncensored is financial. It's hard to find advertisers because they're afraid the Communist Party will retaliate against them. We're still working on it, but it's really hard. And that's why we rely mainly on support from viewers like you, Jake. And to all our viewers who support us on Patreon, remember to leave your questions below this video on our Patreon website, and I'll answer them at the end of my videos. And if you're not a patron yet, click here to support the show you love.